Hey everyone, it's Kenya Buck in Brooklyn. Today is Saturday and the town is starting to get a lot quieter. The rally is over tomorrow, so we will continue our walking out here. We didn't have to hardly go to the dog park at all, so come with us. Come on, Buck. So I forgot my tripod, so I'm having to use my phone to hold my phone. Me and the dogs ran over to Spearfish to donate a bunch of stuff to the Salvation Army. And on the way back, I just thought I'll run them out real quick, and that way we can get that done. Buck is a peon. So yeah, it's a gorgeous day out. So I did video yesterday, and I might put it on this video. I might just trash it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you guys want longer videos or shorter videos, but it's all about the same thing, just me walking my dogs. So I don't know if you guys want something different. If you do, please tell me in the comments. If you want longer videos, shorter videos, if you want something different, like walking someplace else. Although I do love walking my dogs in the hills. My friend suggested that I go to other towns, but that's just kind of weird. I mean, this hill on the other side, right on the other side, is Sturgis. So it takes, like, when the motorcycle rally isn't going, it takes just a couple minutes to get out here from my house and stuff. So I can't see going all the way over to Spearfish or Rapid City just to walk my dogs. And the reason why I walk my dogs is so Buck and Brooklyn can go to the bathroom and stuff, and for them to get exercise, and for me to get some exercise too, I guess. So it was weird. A couple of days ago, like 3 days ago, I took the dogs for a walk, and I didn't have anything in my stomach, and I was feeling weak when I went for the walk. Then 2 days ago, I went for a walk with Jeremy and the dogs, and I had eaten a bowl of oatmeal before, because oatmeal gives you lots of energy and it's long lasting and stuff. And they were so far ahead of me, I couldn't even see them most of the time. But I felt weird, so I was thinking that my blood sugars were a little bit low. So yesterday, I waited until about 3, come on baby girl, 3 in the afternoon, and I felt fine. And now it's about 1:15. I had some oatmeal this morning. Haven't eaten anything since, but I did have a big Starbucks coffee and a protein drink. And my legs are feeling a little bit wobbly. And I've been walking my dogs almost every day since March, so this should not be happening. So I'm gonna talk to my doctor. I've got a doctor's appointment on the 25th, and just kind of discuss, you know. I think it also could be my medication. I'm on so much medication. I know my creatinine levels are really high, which means my kidneys aren't doing the best. But that's all due to the medication that I've been taking for 31 years. He did tell me that I have to drink more water, and I do drink a lot of water, but lately I haven't been drinking as much water, so I know I need to get more water into me. Every time I have a glass of ice water in my car, the dogs always want it, so I give it to them. So I need to stop doing that. I need to bring 3 glasses of ice water, one for each of us. This vacation has been nice. It's been relaxing. It's gone way too fast. So, way too fast. So, yeah. But me working from home, it's nothing like having to get up and actually get ready, go to work. I just have to get up, get dressed, and sit down at my computer. But still, it's just the fact that, on vacation, I can decide when I want to go out. I can decide when I want to take the dogs out. If I'm cleaning and I got an hour spare fish, when I'm working, can't take the dogs out until 4. I gotta decide when I'm gonna go spearfish or Rapid City. Oh. So I guess the rally was pretty big. The news is saying 400,000 to 450,000 people in the Black Hills area, which the majority have come through Sturgis, but the final numbers won't come until a couple weeks after the rally. So I'm just glad it's almost over. I do have to get a hold of my coordinator at Mayo Clinic, and what's the matter, baby? That's just a plant. That's just a plant. See? See? That's just a plant. Come on. You get so sketched out by that kind of stuff. But yesterday we were way over there, and he was ahead of us, and he was just walking, and he stopped, and we stood there for like 5 minutes, and then he turned around and came back. So I'm thinking that there was a snake in the shrub, and his nose knows. So, baby girl. I did bring their trigger with. Just happened to be on my backpack. Anyways, Brooklyn, come on. So if I wouldn't have had their trigger, I would have gone back home and come out later. So, it is so nice and quiet out here. Last night, so we live about 10 blocks from Main Street, and the Loud American is the local restaurant and bar. And I hear everything during the rally because they've got their music so loud and stuff. Last night, it was like until 3 o'clock in the morning. And then there were so many cop cars. I didn't know what was going on, but yeah. So that'll be nice once that stops. And Sundays of the rally, it's just basically everybody leaving. So Wednesdays and Sundays, people usually come for half the rally, the first half of the rally, or the last half of the rally. Very few people come for the entire rally, except for most of the vendors. So, come on, baby girl. Should we go back? 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 Baby, should we go back? Come on. Come on, Brooklyn. I like it over here in the shade. I have just a tank top on, and I didn't put any sunscreen on because I thought I would just be running over the spearfish. And so I can't really be out in the sun because I have so much skin cancer. And I know my husband always tells me put sunscreen on. And most of the time I do, but there are days when I just forget, you know. Come on. So last night my husband went out with his friend Matt. And about 7 o'clock I was watching TV in my room laying down and stuff. And Buck was out back just absolutely throwing a fit. And so Brooklyn was in the house barking because Buck was barking. So I went out the front door, went on the north side of my house to shut that gate, and walked in the backyard, and there's these boys, about 10 years old, climbing my fence and in my yard and stuff. And I yelled at them. I said, "What are you guys doing in my yard? And get the hell off my fence." Because my fence cost me a lot of money, and it was me who paid for it. It was thousands and thousands of dollars. And they hurried up and jumped over the fence, and that's the reason why Buck was throwing a fit, and they ran off. And, oh, baby. And so I waited for them because they had left their bikes there. And about 5 minutes later, they came back to get their bikes. And I said, "You guys come here right now." 3 of them ran, but the one who was climbing over the fence walked over. And I said, "Why were you guys in my yard?" And "I don't know." And I said, "Were you wanting to play with my dog?" "Kinda." "Well, that means that they wanted to pick on Buck." And I said, "You don't want to go into people's yard that you don't know their dogs." I said, "You don't know the temperament of the dog." I said, "Buck is a very sweet dog, but when people that he doesn't know are in his yard, he can be loud. I don't think he'd ever be aggressive." I said, "You don't know that." And I said, "I'm going to tell you this." I said, "If you need to come into my yard, you come to the front door and ask." Because a lot of kids will throw a ball which will land in the yard, and I always have to get it for them. But I said, "If my husband catches you, it's going to be hell to pay for you guys. So just a warning." "I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm so sorry." And I'm just like, you guys have no clue what kind of temperament dogs have. Why would you risk it? Come on, Buck. Buck. So that was my exciting night. Come on, baby. Come on. I mean, he is such a sweetheart, but when people that he doesn't know are in his yard and the front yard, they'll ride by on their bikes and pick on him. And they picked on Justice mercifully. And I would get mad at them. And I even went to some of their parents and I said, my dog is in my yard. and he is protecting my yard, and I do not like what your kids are doing. And if they keep it up, I said, I will call the cops. And so they stopped them. But then once Buck and Brooklyn came, you know, it was all over again and stuff. And there was this one boy, my nephew Tate, when Justice was alive. They were just really little and stuff. And Tate knew Justice, you know, Justice knew Tate and stuff because he's family. But the little boy didn't, and he went running towards Justice. And Justice wasn't the type of dog that, you know, there you go, Brooklyn, come on. Justice wasn't the type of dog that, you know, he loved me, he protected me, he tolerated Jeremy, but he liked my parents. But other people, you know, he was very wary of and stuff. And I stopped the little kid and I said, please don't. I said, you don't know what kind of temperament a dog has. And I said, I don't want you getting bit. And look at that car. Look at that pickup. Look at how fast he's going. And it's a goddamn either Black Hills Power and Light or police officer. Unless something's happened. That shouldn't be happening. Anyways, you know, I said, I don't want you getting bit because you're just like, ooh, dog, you know. I said, dogs have their own temperament. And I said, I just want you to be careful. He was like 3 years old. So that went in one ear and out the other. But it's the truth, you know. Buck was protecting the house, the property, and he gets like that when people come up to the fence that, you know, and dogs know who's good and who's bad and stuff. There was this guy trying to sell ring doorbells and stuff, and Buck was out with Jeremy. Buck and Brooklyn were out with Jeremy. And he came to the door and he was nice to me and stuff. And he wanted to make an appointment with Jeremy, and I said, he's not going to buy it. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I said, but I will tell him, you know, that you want to plan an appointment with him. And when Jeremy got home, he goes, we have an alarm system in Buck. And so later on that night, I was out in the front yard, and he walked by because he was trying to sell ring doorbells all around the neighborhood, and I said, come here, and Buck just went nuts. And Buck doesn't bark, he bays. And I said, my husband doesn't want the ring doorbell because of him. I get it. So it's one good thing when you have dogs. They'll always protect you and your house, and you know, it's his house too, you know. It's Brooklyn's house, and it's Jeremy's house, and it's my house, and you know. So, and it was Justice's house, and it's my kitty cat's house, Missy and Pooh Bear. Missy and Pooh Bear were both born in that house, and have lived there all their life. Right, baby girl? So once we get down off of this hill, we're just going to go home because it's quite hot out. And both dogs have pooed. So, come on, baby girl. I was going to go over to my mom's house today, and we're going to call my sister down in Texas and talk about what days we should be coming in. My mom called me today and said, well, Danny's with her daughter-in-law at the zoo with the kids. And I'm just like, we're gonna have to pay so much money for the flight because my family does not get on the ball. I love them to death, but my mom's worried about the cost of the flight, the cost of the car, if we'll need to get a room for a certain night. And I'm just like, the sooner we book, the sooner we'll get the cheapest flight. But we keep pushing it off. Come on, baby girl. I do have a couple bottles. I've got a bag full of water bottles. It's just grass, baby. It's just grass. It's just grass, pumpkin. It's just grass. I do have a bag full of bottled water in the car, and then I've got a big container of water. But they like drinking out of my glass, which has ice in it. So we're like 2 minutes away from home. So my doctor wants me to get more protein in because I don't eat very much meat. And I found this protein drink. It's called Nuri. N-U-R-R-I, and I get it at Sam's Club, and it's $20 for a 12-pack, and I have 1 can a day, 30 grams of protein, so that should make him happy. Alright, we're going to leave you here. We're going to go back to the car and go home. It's quite hot out today, so Buck, get over here. So if you guys want to like, subscribe, and comment, I would love it, and the dogs would love it. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.